But
however,
yeah, logistically, depends on where you are on, with butt stuff. You might want to use the nose. Alrighty. Well, hello. Welcome back to Alcohol Content. You're here with me, Austin. We got Ryan. We got Rick. And we are here to give those spicy takes on, right now, $20 bottles of bourbon. So today is our wild card round.
Wild card.
And this is basically out of our previous episodes, which if you haven't watched them yet, you should go back to part 1 because we're going through a whole series. And this is going to be our wild card round. And
so third place of every round, essentially.
Yeah, so the things that we thought had an honorable mention and would be interesting to try against some other things to see if they could come back and redeem themselves.
Totally redeem themselves.
All right, so what do we got going as our first wild card pick?
We have Old Bardstown, a Willet product. So I believe it came in third in I can't remember which round. If I look at my notes, I'd know. But it's a Willet product, Old Bardstown. It is in our market $29, and it is 90 proof, and it's a little less, I believe, than 4-year age distillate. And that's what we have to start with in our glass.
So if I remember correctly, this was nothing exceptional, which was kind of a positive point for it. It was just middle of the road, but it was a little bit on the pricey side of our range.
Right. Again, and to be clear, our range is anything in our market pre-tax $20 to $29.99. So we didn't hedge for anything that's $30 or $31.
But this is $29.99.
This is currently $29.99 in our market. Yep. What are you smelling?
Yeah, just some honey on the nose. A little sweet. Nothing too crazy.
What'd you pick up? Or did you just leap?
He just downs the whole thing.
Yeah, taking shots.
Yeah, this is a shot whiskey. So
evidently,
I'm getting more wood, almost raw wood, than I remember it being last time.
On the nose or on the palate?
On the palate.
Oh, okay.
The nose was super light and a little bit of honey, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
The palate, I remember being more relaxed, and I'm getting now more wood to it, but not necessarily in a good way.
I like the mild sweetness it has, and I get a little bit of the wood, but it's not bothering me. It definitely is how I remember it, just kind of nothing special, but not bad.
I'm getting the nose. I thought was actually fairly pleasant. I mean, it wasn't anything outstanding or crazy, but fairly pleasant. And then on the palate, for me, I would agree with you, Ryan, that there's a little more wood than I remember. But again, this could be the process of, even though we've had this before, where was it in the lineup? What did we just have before, et cetera, et cetera. And we're starting off with this one. So yeah, I'm picking up a little more wood, but it's still fairly pleasant and down the pipe for bourbon.
Yeah, I don't think the wood, I wouldn't describe that as a negative for me really at all. I think it makes sense in the flavor profile. It's a little bit sweet and you get the wood. It may not be really refined and just like, yeah, this is a great wood flavor. It's just basic. And what is going on here?
What the?
And it's also a new cologne.
An eau de toilette.
I was not drinking, officer. No, I'm just, sometimes you can get more of an essence of it if you just do this and then rub until
I have a sink. You can wash your hands, right?
No, and then
a little hand sanitizer.
See, now it's definitely
smells like hand.
No, I'm picking up some leather. When the ethanol like evaporates and stuff like that, you're getting sort of like you're going to get when you're completely done with the whiskey, but you pick up the glass and smell it. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting more deeper notes. There's some leather now that I'm picking up. Yeah.
I have never seen anyone ever do that.
Tobacco, some leather.
I'm just like it flashes back to Rick. He's like making leather. He's like curing leather, and he's smoking a cigarette. And then he's like, "Man, I smell leather. I smell tobacco."
It's amazing how that is. I was tanning the leather. No,
In my previous life,
it's just some of the deeper tones that are in here, are what's left here.
see, my problem with this that I didn't remember on the first time we tried this is it has a very long finish that is not very pleasant to me.
Yeah.
It has, I don't even really want to say tannic, but it's a little tannic, and that wood comes through, but it's not like a toasted wood. It's like firewood. It doesn't do much.
Yeah. For
And
me,
it lasts.
it does last. It's like even now, I can breathe out and I can still taste it. And it just sticks around. But the only thing that really, if this was a $25 bottle, I think it would make more sense. But at $30, it's just
$29.99.
yeah. Sorry, $29.99. It's still in the price range. It's not anything special. You didn't go completely wrong buying this bottle, but I don't know if I'd go out of my way to purchase this.
Wouldn't seek it out.
Well, now and again, one of the a little bit different things about this is it's got 15% malted barley, which I find sort of interesting. It is a fairly high corn content, 72% corn and then 13% rye. But 15% is fairly a little high for the malted barley, typical stuff. And again, this is a Willet product, so they have the range from Johnny Drum all the way to the Willet pot still and things like that, all the way up to Noah's Mill and Rowan's Creek, which I know that we enjoy. Rowan's Mill, Noah's Creek or Noah's Mill, Rowan's Creek.
Fire.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think Old Bardstown. Oh man, I cannot say this. I did this last time. Old Bardstown is. I think it needs to exist in the vacuum of the distillery. How does this compare to the other stuff? I think that's really the only place it belongs. Is it's just them producing their own alcohol? How does it compare to the more expensive stuff? Because in its price range, it gets blown out of the water. I mean, we've already seen that this is
it did make the losers bracket or the wild card, but
it's because it was interesting. Yeah. It was so ordinary that it was interesting.
I'm going to go out on a limb. So, yes, I mean, this isn't something that I like, this is like awesome. But I will say that I think that I would really like to do a head-to-head with their Willet pot still. It's a really fancy bottle. People grab it off the shelf for gifts that don't know bourbon very well, but it's really fancy. And I'm going to say that in a blind, this Old Bardstown with their Willet pot still, I think it would confuse. I think people would. I think it tastes very similar to their pot still.
Then.
And that's what I was saying. Like it needs to exist in a vacuum of Willet Distillery.
Sure. Fair enough. Yeah. Yep. I think we're all on the same page, and we'll see if Old Bardstown can totally redeem itself at the end of this round, because I'd say early on here, it's not
doing any favors.
It's not doing itself any favors. Exactly.
All right.
So we got Larceny up next.
Let's move on. So, Larceny, basically, after the release of our first episode, people have been saying they've been wanting to try this a bunch.
A lot of feedback.
Yeah, a lot of feedback.
About going to buy Larceny.
And I see why, just because how we described it the first time is this is almost the perfect gift / intro whiskey for people who may not like bourbon. This might change their mind. So
this is a Heaven Hill product, 92 proof. In this market, $26.95.
What was the other Heaven Hill that we had in the lineup?
Elijah Craig's Heaven Hill.
Okay, yeah.
Which
very different and different palettes for sure, which is cool.
Yes.
I mean, totally different products.
I'm even picking up a little on the nose with this. I'm even picking up a little. I mean, it's just nice and mellow. I'm picking up a tiny touch of pineapple.
That's weird.
That is weird, but go figure.
This does everything correctly that the old Bardstown is trying to do, in my opinion. Everything that the old Bardstown is going for, that I think it's going for, this successfully achieves.
I don't disagree with the pineapple, but I wouldn't go as far and say it's pineapple. It's just it has like that tang.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a good.
There's just a little
heading in the right
little
direction.
nuance of it for me. What are you getting on the palate? I haven't tried it yet.
This is just so much better. It really like. There's a reason why I would say that this is the starter whiskey. It kind of envelops my tongue with it has like a little viscosity, kind of like a tanniny aspect to it. I can feel it on my tongue, and it's just nice and sweet. And it just kind of goes. It just slowly. It's like a wave that just crashes through the front of your mouth to the back, and it leaves you with a nice, pleasant aftertaste.
Yep. Totally agree. If this is your first bottle of whiskey and you do not like this at all, go no further. There's no point.
Yeah,
You might as well just stop and say,
Yeah.
maybe I'll try whiskey another time. Don't worry about it. It is lovely.
Yeah, and we've seen this in gift sets with a couple of glasses, and if you can find that, I mean, I think you're golden. You should get that right away. Either give it for a gift to someone random, make their day, or get it for yourself. Get a couple of cool whiskey glasses with a decent bottle of alcohol. Because this is
Still
pretty
think
cheap,
it's a
right?
stupid.
I think the
story.
marketing department did a great job.
I think.
I mean, here's the deal. It's from your guys' description, it's really good liquid inside.
Yeah.
And then I think it's very clever with the backstory. I mean, I'm a sort of I like my history. So even if this is made up, which I don't believe, I mean, there's elements perhaps that are embellished. I don't think it's completely made up with the John Fitzgerald, that was, sniping off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called larceny, so John Fitzgerald had keys to the warehouse and was sniping off alcohol way back in the day or whatever. So, I mean, so the bottle, just the look of the bottle, the keyhole, naming
Yeah.
it larceny, marketing gets a gold star in that one. But it's also backed up with what's inside the bottle.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
this is a bottle I put in my flask, and I went golfing with it. And it's like, if people want to drink some decent whiskey while golfing, it's cheap. And everyone likes it.
Yeah, exactly. Just start shanking.
I
them
will
off
say
the
that my game certainly decreased and deteriorated the more Larceny I had in my system. So it's not a game enhancing, a golf.
a performance
It's
enhancing
not a
drug.
performance enhancing drug. Let me tell you that. Right about hole 4, after the couple of sips I've been taking.
It didn't loosen
Right.
up the backswing or
Well,
anything?
my
Too
my
loose.
drive,
You just let the club go.
yeah, my drive was great. It was everything in between that. So
okay.
let's
So the drive.
don't drink and play golf, guys.
So this helps with your drive, just not the short game.
But don't
Yeah.
don't drive after you drink this.
Yes, yes, yeah, exactly.
Unless you're a really good driver when
Yeah.
you're a little tipsy, because then it's okay.
Yeah.
According to all of my friends,
All
and
the cops I
everyone
know
that I asked, they're like,
say that.
I'm better a driver when I'm drunk. It's like, well, then you should be driving more intoxicated.
I believe them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't. Okay, don't drive drunk. Please don't. For real.
Unless you have to.
No, never. Uber and Lyft,
Yes, that's what
they
Uber
exist for a reason.
Exactly.
That's the reason why they exist, for drunk people.
For drunk people.
So, I mean, basically, Larceny, it's the same as before. Get this, put it in your
Just
in
get
your
it.
bar,
Just get it.
get it.
Just do it.
I would say this. So obviously, tall praise for Larceny. I would say what this wouldn't do, and you know what? I'm going out on a limb because I've never tried it. I would say it wouldn't be a good mixer because it's
No.
so balanced and mellow and nice on its own that I don't think it would hold up
Yeah.
to.
This would be terrible in a cocktail.
It's a little too sweet for that,
Yeah, no.
but it's a
awful.
unique flavor that, I don't think so.
I would argue things with a higher rye content.
Yeah, to hold up.
Yeah.
And perhaps a little higher proof. I mean, 92 proof, but perhaps a little higher proof and a higher rye content.
I mean, just to compare it to the bullet bourbon that we were tasting, which is the best,
The bartender's exactly.
bourbon. There's a reason why it's stated, and there's a reason why this is not. And it's just too sweet. This is to be drank on its own.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is wheated. So it definitely is more sweet because of the wheat content.
Yep. It's obviously corn is the first heaviest ingredient in it, but then instead of rye, it's wheat.
Yeah.
Wheat.
I can't wait till we do an episode with the barrel strength of this.
They have a barrel strength.
Oh, they have
of that?
barrel strength.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well,
That sort of rivals the. Interestingly enough, it's rivals the Elijah Craig barrel strength.
okay. Interesting.
Which is also very, very good.
All right. Well, we are moving on to the classic.
So our lowest proof are here out of the wild card round.
The jug.
This only comes in this giant jug.
Four Roses. Giddy up.
So this is just their basic offering.
Yep.
I think this was. I forget how we. This for me, how I remember, this is kind of middle of the road, as well, but it has some character to it.
More rye heavy.
Yeah, more rye, a little bit spicy, but for the price range, and there's a reason why this isn't a half gallon, is because
And this is
the price
another
range
one
is low.
where a lot of whiskey bars will use this as their cocktail bourbon.
Yes, yeah,
Because of the high rye content. Four Roses.
Inexpensive.
Four Roses. No, they have
Well balanced.
two different
yeah.
mash bills. One is
High rye and the
what
other's
is high
really high
rye
rye.
and the other's higher rye. So it's like yes. So this is their 80. So I believe 80 proof is the the lowest proof that we have in the wild card round. You can pick this up not in this size, but in the 750 milliliter for $24.95. The price has gone. The price is definitely prices of everything, but gone up. But
Yeah.
it's gone up. It was $21 before. But yeah, this is their basic, 80 proof.
man, the nose is not coming through for me.
Oh really?
Oh, it's coming through really brightly for me.
I'm like,
yeah.
so I'm gonna try and just smell it some more to try and get something, but it's coming off a little diesely. Like I'm getting some gasoline almost.
Interesting. I was gonna say chalky, like powdery,
Yeah, I get a little of that, but I'm getting
like crushed up crayons.
crushed up crayons. Right with the fat crayon.
That's how I still sign
Interesting.
documents.
I'm getting brightness. I'm getting floral. I'm getting springtime flowers in a mountain field.
I feel like I'm hitting the
citrusy.
ethanol too much.
Well, that's weird since this is 80 proof. I mean, it's
Yeah,
the lowest proof.
It's kind of interesting.
This smells like Tums to me right now.
I kind of get the chalkiness, like
Do you?
like chalk in the air, and you
Yeah.
breathe it in and you get a
Yeah.
little bit in your nose. Like it's
Yeah.
almost that exact feeling that I just got.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Got sanitized between each.
Oh,
Well, he's got to get rid of COVID, so
Yeah,
gotta do
be
that.
gone. Actually, Four Roses
Oh,
is actually considered by the CDC the most proficient killer of bacteria and viruses. It's the pepper.
And now we're canceled. Take us off. The
oh,
air.
I get with the remnants left. It's spicy.
Tobacco
It's,
and
no,
leather.
it's spicy, not tobacco and leather. No,
Still smells like
now
my
that I've
hand.
burnt my nostrils enough, it smells pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the visual of the flowers in the mountain. It is a little floral,
yeah, definitely.
some wildflowers.
What are you thinking? You tasted? Oh,
It's like
I like that. I like that.
a flower bed in the mountains, done in chalk on the sidewalk.
Chalk, where you? I mean, there's a hint
I get something really.
Like in a bad like.
No, it's not even bad. It's just powdery Tums almost.
What I
like.
what I find with this is it's a much easier drinker. Take away the wood, and it's kind of similar to Old Bardstown. Take away the wood factor of Old Bardstown. This is light on the tongue. It doesn't last for a very long time for me, and kind of basic. And again, this is the cheapest offering from Four Roses. Mm-hmm. So.
But see,
it's much cheaper than the Old Bardstown.
I get a nice balance of a little bit of spice and the sweetness right up front.
But no wood for me.
Not really. A little bit of wood comes through as it goes along. But up front, I get spice balanced with some sweetness. And then it gets a little bit of wood and then just sort of trails off and into the sunset.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this. I mean, I think
I always enjoy
this.
This
Is
I like the Four Roses line. I mean, their whole line. But I am definitely enjoying. To me, it's bright, it's floral, it's citrusy on the nose and on the palate. You still get that, but I'm getting exactly the remnants from my hand. I know you guys are laughing at me with that, but there's a definite rye spice that comes through. Not like spice that's gonna, a Serrano chili pepper or something. I'm talking just that rye sort of kick that it's like right here in a good way. And I'm also getting some that's like balanced with butterscotch. I mean, I think for an 80 proof, this drinks really nicely. For me, for my palate.
I think this punches above its weight for both price and proof. This, if you blinded this, I feel like you would not say this is an 80 proof and a $25 bourbon.
The nose is much easier for me now. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was smelling in the wrong distance from the glass or whatever, but
it's easy drinking proof wise. But for my palate right now tonight, it's got that citrusy, but also some nice spice. But there's a nice middle ground of, I'm not going to go so far say as caramel, but sort of like a butterscotch that just sort of balances that out for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying this tonight.
What's the price of the Four Roses?
$24.95 or so right now for a 750 milliliter.
I forgot to ask, what was the price of a Larceny?
The Larceny is like $25.95.
Yeah. So, I mean, this I think I said this previously, but this is the definition of what I would imagine this price range is. Like $24, this is what you're getting. This is, at least in my opinion, the minimum of what you should be getting. I like it. It's basic and peppery, and you're describing some of those like little sweet, savory notes. It has a little bit of everything, but it's just not the next level, which you gotta pay for the next level.
Exactly. At 80 proof,
yeah.
it's not,
it's
foreshadowing
what they do make.
Right. It's their other products are going to, give, but for 80 proof,
I would argue
baseline,
this is your best old-fashioned bourbon. To make an
cheap old-fashioned bourbon.
Yeah.
I would do this more
It
than...
actually tastes like an old-fashioned almost.
It's almost
there
there
the other night.
already.
Right. Now, what it doesn't have is, I think I mentioned earlier that, a little higher proof if you're going to mix it, and this is only 80 proof, but it's offset with that rye spice with the high rye mash bill that's going to make it interesting for sure. I mean, it's still going on.
Well, that's why
that peppery.
Yeah, that's why you want something with higher rye and not as sweet on the bourbon side for those cocktails, because you're adding sweet components already to the cocktail. So if you have a bourbon that's overly sweet, like the Larceny, then you're just doubling up on one thing. And this has a little bit of spice to it that can cut through the sweetness of those other components that you're adding.
Yeah.
So that's why this and Bullet, which is made by Four Roses.
Did we confirm that? Because I know last time it was kind of like,
well,
I think
they have their own distillery. It certainly was at one point in time. I don't know. They've in 2017. Bullet came up with their own distillery.
It's super similar.
It is.
and it has the same pepper note. But I forget exactly what we said, but I do. I mean, it's next in the lineup for, it's in the running.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
and
it
it's
already
better
made
than
it.
this.
Already made it. This is the losers bracket again, or wild card, whatever you want to say. So 2 of these are going to make their way into, the final 2, semifinal, if you will. I'm for me tonight. There's 4 roses.
And if you want
I'm
a half
enjoying
gallon, it's glass.
There you go. It's not that plastic.
To me, it's just super consistent.
Yes.
It's very consistent. It's very dependable.
Which is why it's good in a bottle of alcohol, in a mixed drink.
And if you forget, like
it is good in a bottle of alcohol.
If you forget your anniversary or whatever, and you come in, it's like, honey, I still got you 4 roses. I stopped at the gas station on the way home. I didn't forget our anniversary.
Don't say I never gave you roses, honey.
I don't know why it's not a dozen, but
get you 3 bottles of 4 roses. Here's your dozen roses.
I got you a dozen roses.
Yeah. We can drink this together.
1 for you, 2 for me.
All right. Well, let's move on to the
Buffalo.
I think this is, in my opinion, right in our lineup that we did and our tasting we did with it. This is the most wild card. I'm curious
It's
how
pretty
this
wild
will
card.
taste today
Yeah.
because I was disappointed with it previously. Thinking, because as someone who sold you on Buffalo Trace, and I liked Buffalo Trace when I was younger, it didn't do very well.
When you were a wee little
When
lad.
I was a wee lad. Ooh, yep. It's
What?
unique.
Oh, man.
It is. It's unique.
So just
What
to be
is
well,
that?
just to be clear too, it's like we had four rounds. We had 4 rounds, and so both the Larceny and the Buffalo Trace were the wild cards. So we had 2 wild cards from one round, and they sort of tied as sort of 3rd place in that particular round. And so this is 92 proof, I believe, or no, I'm sorry, it's 90 proof, right? So I got it right here. It's 90 proof. 45%. So it's 90 proof. And it's in our area, it's 25 or 26.95. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've said this before. Sometimes you'll go there and there's the price and an empty slot. So in our area, more often than not, you can still find, the flagship of the Buffalo Trace distillery, the Buffalo Trace that we're
So
smelling now.
I'm finding a strange wood note.
Yeah.
This is raw, freshly cut. Okay. Like pine, freshly cut. It's some sort of wood. I can't nail it down exactly what it is, but this is like you've opened it up, you chop the piece of wood, or you just chop down the tree, and it's like it is just wood all on the nose. That's all what I'm getting.
Cherry wood.
Cherry wood.
For me, I'm not. I'm getting pine tar. No, I'm serious. Like pine or sap that you'd get. I mean, that's now it's following up with some citrus, but the very first smell I got was wood and not necessarily a nice. It's either like a moldy oak. I know that sounds horrible to say that, or like a very fresh high. I just cut. I'm splitting some pine. It's brand new, and so it's still sort of green, and it's a piney.
You like rub
young
some
wood.
rosemary on it or something, and it like makes it into a spice. It's a strange flavor.
Have you? That's just the nose for you at this point in time, or have you tasted it too?
I haven't tasted it yet, but
it is. So I know this is sounding horrible, but then right after that, I'm getting very nice citrus notes on it. Some like orange zest or orange oil. Taking an orange rind or whatever, and then there's some. Oh, that was quite pleasant. Oh,
I think it's doing a little bit better on the tongue this time.
Dude, for some reason, I just smelled that and I just figured I walked into a dry cleaner's. That's what I smelled.
Excuse me,
I just
sir.
walked
Let me
into
press
it.
the button.
Yeah.
I walked into a dry cleaners with decent service.
Okay.
Not great, but
Yeah.
just decent.
I will say,
On the taste,
No. Smell.
have you tasted yet?
No.
for me, the nose is coming through into the taste, but it's now the nose is expanding. It's like, okay, so you've seen me with my clothes on. Let me show you with my clothes off. That's basically what this
Listen here, pervert.
is. This
Wait a second. Are we going in a good way or a bad way with this?
give me a little bit
Cover
more.
it up.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's turn the lights off,
okay,
but
okay.
let's leave some ambient light in the background, just
Got
in
it.
case.
Got it.
Some ambient light.
I think it's doing better for me than the first time we tasted it. I'm not disliking this. I do know that previously I was a little confused. And we go with the hand rubbing test. Yep.
Out here trying to make a fire.
No, we
Yeah.
did say it was wood on the
As
nose.
long as you keep your hands above the table.
Yeah,
Ooh.
See, for me, this is doing worse this time. I'm
really
more in line with what you said the first time.
okay.
Yeah. With like some burnt dry
Where were
cleaners
you
that
going?
got stuck in the
Sofa that was
thing.
burning or something. I can't remember.
I
What you're...
think so.
Nylon.
I'm gonna.
Ooh, that's it. That was it.
I'm gonna.
Ugh.
I'm gonna sell us a little bit here.
What?
All right.
Please
The
do.
fact that we've had such an interesting tasting with this, we've been surprised both times. I've flip flopped. You've just flip flopped. I think it's safe to say that Buffalo Trace is pretty complex. I don't know if it knows what it's doing with this complexity, but it is very unique. It is not terrible. This isn't like, let's just dump. This isn't a sink drain, okay? But I am finding that this is fun. The nose, it's like, what the hell is that? The taste, it's like, oh, wow, that's actually sweet. It's like, but the nose is coming through, which is strange. It's funky. Buffalo Trace is funky. That's my descriptor, and I think, in my opinion, that describes it the best, and it's worth getting for that. Do you want to add this into a tasting? Do you want to put this up against certain things? It's a useful comparison. That's what I'm finding. Its value.
So, you think it's funky? I'm gonna go with more freeform jazz, modern jazz.
Okay.
Let's slap that bass.
Yeah.
Which, that's interesting, but what the fuck is going on there?
It's
Oh, I don't know. I want any other Buffalo Trace product over this. What is this?
it's very strange. I mean, I used to love this. I would. This was my favorite alcohol.
Buffalo.
yeah.
This right here.
Yep. When I was 22. This is and now I'm 30,
23.
38. No.
20. No, I'm 20, 22 and a half. And I'm above this now.
Yeah.
I thought I was, but I'm not.
I'm 7 years past when this. I've grown up now. I'm 7 years past my 22. So this used to be my favorite alcohol, but I also was like not going to spend a bunch of money on alcohol. So there's that. But this is certainly funky.
Yeah, so it's for me personally, the smell was a little bit the nose was a little bit off-putting for me with that sort of wood,
Yeah.
moldy, oaky, wet oaky. And truthfully, I'm getting a little of that as an aftertaste. But the taste is doing better for me this time than before. I would agree. It's interesting. There's quite a bit of stuff going on. There is definitely a sweetness that balances out some of those little funky notes that you're talking about. There's some citrus going on. There really is. To me, it's a honey going on, not a caramel, but a honey going on. It's definitely some sweetness. Like in my mind, I was going like that Four Roses was really doing it for me. And then this now I'm back in competition again with this Buffalo Trace. It's
Really?
doing better for me
Then the
this
Four
time.
Roses?
Well, like I'd put them. They're
Okay.
different. They're different.
This is not for people who are going to drink the Larceny. This is not for that. I would say this is a cheap bottle of alcohol for someone with a palate already refined. Like, I think you need to.
Dude, this isn't for me.
But you don't have a refined palate, okay, Ryan? We've already established that. In the past episodes, we all know, okay? No, I think it's not for you, but can you at least agree that it's interesting to the point of it's worth trying?
No.
I think not.
I was gonna say it's like
I think this. It's not. It's not. There are so many. I think the first time we tasted this, I had definitely some bias because I love Buffalo Trace Distillery, and I think that carried it a little too far. And now we're trying it, and I was iffy the first time, and now we're trying it again, and it's sort of solidifying my opinion that this is not holding up.
What about compared to what we've tried so far?
Larceny, much better. Four Roses, much better. Bardstown, at that point, it's kind of like, do you want a mediocre middle of the road, or do you want a mediocre like weird shit?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It has character.
It tastes moldy. Why does it taste moldy?
It has earthy character.
They pulled a barrel out of a swamp. Why is that good?
This is environmentally friendly alcohol. Okay,
Oh my
not to say
God.
that it's like helping the environment. It is just friendly with the environment. It is moldy. It's wet. It's in the dirt. Okay,
It's in the mud, shaking hands with the environment.
So what's interesting here is Ryan definitely, as most people do, like the Buffalo Trace line. Is this
I love
the
the
is this the like? I know you like Ancient Age, for instance,
love
which
Ancient
is $11.99 or whatever. So would this be your least favorite of the entire line that they have?
By far.
You know what?
Which is
Post show
ironic.
is Ancient Age then.
Yeah.
Well, in a blind tasting, Ancient Age batted way up, but
I would take so many of their other products. All of them. I would take all of their other products over this.
And all right, so price range.
it's just $26.99 here right now.
So-
If you now that's the other thing.
If you can find
There's some people that struggle finding
So what's Buffalo Trace's next offering?
Up.
Yeah.
Eagle Rare.
Okay.
Which again we can still get it here. Lots of times it's okay.
32,
Yes.
35,
37.
36, 37. But more often than not, it's like there's a blank on the shelf.
Yeah.
Like Total
And
Wine
definitely-
hasn't had it for a long time.
You need to buy Eagle Rare if you see it for $35.
Eagle Rare is
Is amazing.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh no. That's a 10. Eagle Rare is
Like-
10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
Wow,
This is 6 to 8.
In a swamp.
6 to 8
6 to 8.
6 to 8 in a swamp.
in Florida
you-
swamp.
Oh, come on. Lord,
Everglades.
in the Everglades.
Yeah, you know how
Cockroaches walking in and out of it.
they have like the ocean age
Whoa.
alcohol. This is
Jefferson
swamp.
Ocean Age.
This is
Jefferson
swamp
Ocean.
age.
This is, for God, you come on
This
now.
is just you throw it into some
They age
mud.
it with buffalo chips.
No, it's buffalo piss. Not really. No, I'm
Just a trace of it.
just a try. No, would you?
Got him.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, Lord!
Wow, you're really slinging
He's
the jokes
wanting to
today.
hate. He's wanting to hate on Buffalo Trace.
I love the distillery. I hate this bottle. I don't know what
I
it
do
is.
not hate this bottle, but it probably is my least favorite of their entire
Well,
line.
it was in the wild card for a reason because it was so wild. So
Yes.
It's too wild. It's a wild boy.
It deserves its funky.
Grab that grocery store stuff.
Yeah.
David Nicholson Reserve.
It's a
finish
wild
this.
boy. It's a little too wild. It needs to grow up a sec.
Well, I guess we know
It's
Settle
an
where
down.
eagle. It needs to fly.
It needs to settle down. Yeah.
it needs to fly.
Yeah. That buffalo needs to now transform into an eagle and become rare.
It
Because
should
goddamn,
probably.
eagles are amazing.
It's getting rare,
Yeah.
which let other people have it.
Well,
That's
which
fine.
is strange now because after tasting this, why is Buffalo Trace so hard to find?
It's just the name. It's 100% just that.
Yeah.
Every single thing that they make, everybody is searching for.
Well, they're an awesome distillery, and
yeah.
they make excellent stuff. And
Yeah.
but it is the sought after.
The one thing that's always consistent is Ancient Age, because it's their $12 bottle, and a lot of people don't know that it's made by them, and so that continues to make it to the shelf. But everything else, everybody knows.
If we ever do it between 10 and 20, Ancient Age will be in that. I mean, so for sure. Along with Evan Williams' Bottled and Bond, which you're not a big fan of, but come on, in
I
the
just got
teens.
acid reflux. Yeah, I just got acid reflux.
Yeah.
Like multiple times in a row, so I had to stop drinking it. But
Well, then drink some Four Roses with it, because you said that was Tums.
that was weird.
There you go.
That was super weird, and I still like that so much better than the Buffalo Trace.
So this is David Nicholson Reserve. So the David Nicholson, just the 1843, both David Nicholson Reserve and 1843 was in our, all of our flights or whatever between, $20 bourbons. The David Nicholson 1843 is wheated, and I believe you definitely crapped on it for sure.
That was not very good.
But this is our reserve, which is not wheated.
I was right though.
But it is 100. But it is 100 proof. It's not bottled and bond, but it's 100 proof. And I believe it's made by Lux Row. So if you're and the reserve is not wheated. So if you're a Blood Oath fan, Lux Row, David Nicholson Reserve, Blood Oath. This is we can find this here for $24.95. Yeah, $24.95. Again,
What was the original one? The not reserve.
proof wise,
No.
price wise, same price here.
Oh, really?
They're
Yeah,
the same price?
for whatever
Wow.
reason, it's $24.95 here. So this is the reserve, and this snuck into the wild card round because if I remember right, people were saying it was interesting.
I remember. I think I sold it. I don't remember what it tasted like though. So we're about to find
So what
out.
are you thinking? What are we getting on the?
Well, and of course it depends on what it was up against, right?
Yeah.
What you had before and after it.
Yeah, we got to do the ceremonial hand rubbing.
Sorry.
This is new.
He's still rubbing one
Yeah,
out over here.
we're 5 episodes in. We got to do the real connoisseur move here.
Ooh. Wow. Wow.
Well, I didn't like that.
No.
I didn't like
David
that.
Nicholson.
It's making me uncomfortable here. I thought we were gonna shit on this bottle. We're going off script, guys.
What?
We'd like to thank our team of writers.
So what's the wow?
Yeah.
Let's express
What's the
yourself
Owen
with
Wilson
English.
story?
To me, there's some.
wow.
It might me. That was a very, very first, little sip. So maybe it's just the proof that it's 100 proof. So it's bringing a little bit more to the table. There's a little more flavor there. Yeah. What do you think? Was that your first sip?
Interesting.
What are you smelling?
I was smelling like a little bit of this is it now. We've been getting a lot of honey previously. I'm actually getting more honey on the back end, but on the nose, it wasn't really honey for me.
No.
It was just a slight sweetness, but then the nose isn't really impressive. I think there's a little subtlety there.
Yeah.
But the 100 proof certainly comes through
On the taste or the nose?
on the taste. Well, the nose. Okay, so yeah, let's go a little bit deeper into there. The 100 proof, I think, makes it so the nose is really subtle and it's hard to get.
Oh, because the
yeah.
ethanol or whatever, it's a little more.
But this is now certainly the highest proof,
of this round, for
and
sure.
it comes through. But it's like this is how I've described this alcohol. I think this is just dead simple. This is
Really?
high proof,
Really?
it's sweet. Doesn't do them wrong, but I think it's a little too dimensional.
It's not what my hands are saying.
Now, if you're an alcohol, well, there's the proof for you.
There's the proof.
All right, if you're an alcoholic and you can't drink it, make sure to rub it on your hands. Don't quit the sport, okay? We're in here. You rub it on your hands.
Microdose whiskey.
Yeah. Get the smell because this, according to Rick, wow. Wow. He's giving a 4 Owen Wilsons.
No, I didn't say that.
That's our rating scale.
That was my first.
Wow.
Yeah, to me, well, we're coming off of, in my opinion, something that's funky and complex to something like this. This is just kind of like boom, boom. The old 1-2 punch.
Believe it or not, I'm going to resurrect the whole Play-Doh thing. I get just a touch of Play-Doh on the nose.
As you should.
And then that dissipates, and then it's replaced by Socrates and Aristotle. No, I definitely get a little Play-Doh.
It's I get what you're saying. I think it's a little too proofy to give me the Play-Doh.
I like my Play-Doh a little bit lighter on the proof.
This smells like if Play-Doh were soaked in this bourbon.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. It's kind of two-dimensional. It's not super complex. It's definitely a little sort of 1-2 punch.
I like the finish though.
It's
a nice long burn.
It's not bad. It's really not bad.
Well, it made it
Yes.
to this round.
Now that I'm trying, all right. This is my second taste I just had, or my third because I choked on my last one. but yeah, my second real taste. I'm allergic to alcohol.
Have you ever choked on alcohol and shot it into your nose?
I hope I don't ever do that.
I have done that twice in my life. One of them was last week.
Oh no!
Took alcohol. It was like a shot, but it was too big of a shot to just be a shot, and kind of snorted, and it went straight up into my nose.
Bird.
I cannot tell you how painful that is.
That's a COVID killer.
It is the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
make sure to
and
put it on your
sinuses.
hands first, and then make sure to snort it up through your nose
Yeah.
and out.
Yeah.
That's a sinus.
You're doing this. I was just
Yeah.
doing lines of
Yeah.
shots.
We're double teaming this COVID here. We're making sure it
That's
doesn't
what you do.
exist.
You wash things down with whiskey.
It was so bad. It's
Yeah.
the most painful thing
Ugh.
because obviously your mucous membrane in your nose is super thin.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
It used to be there.
so one, it burns and hurts a lot, and two, you get hammered because it's like
Oh, I
going
got
straight
you.
into your bloodstream.
So,
So
hold
it's
on,
like
hold
doing
on.
a
Wait.
back, an ice
Let's take
skate.
it, let's take it back
Wait.
here. So,
Doesn't matter what this tastes
Yeah.
like.
you want to get a little tipsy.
right up your nose or your butt. You can do your butt. too.
Yeah. But but
However,
yeah, logistically, depends on where you are on, with butt stuff. You might want to use the nose.
We're only condoning sipping.
Yeah, we are sippers of alcohol, but you do you.
Don't
You do
no,
you.
Don't do the butt stuff.
Why not?
People die. People die.
I
from
mean, but if you don't die. Oh wow!
Well, no.
You're riding high.
that. So
Okay.
the whole idea, both through your nose, like one of those mucous membranes where you're not ingesting the alcohol. Because if you drink a bunch of alcohol, your body's like, "Oh, that's poison. I'm gonna throw up and pass out."
Yeah, but your blood,
If
your
you
bloodstream.
don't, if you skip that whole process, you will die from alcohol poisoning because there's nothing in your stomach to throw up or anything.
Yeah.
So
So which bottle would you guys die from?
4 Roses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have the jazz ensemble with Buffalo Trace.
No.
It's like a bad trip. You're on like LSD, PCP, and then someone's playing jazz in front of you, and then you die.
That is Buffalo.
That's
while you're scatting.
So
Ugh.
I like this.
It's interesting. It's good,
It's
but
good.
it's not great.
Yeah.
But in the wild card lineup, I think I know where it sits for me.
All right.
But as we've discovered through many tastings outside the podcast, I like 100 proof. I like
You are a 100 proofer.
and I like the kick that comes, and I think it's a 1-2 and then a 3 punch because the aftertaste is nice. It's long, but that's the 100 proof that comes in. Like it's able to match the proof, which is going to be a longer burn, and the flavor kind of continues with it. So
Now that I've had multiple sips, I know I said wow just on the very first sip, but I think that was the proof coming through. It does last, but I would say it is. I would agree with you that it's sort of 2-dimensional. I mean, there's some richness that comes through for me, some caramely stuff and things like that. But I don't think it's as balanced as it could be.
yeah,
I think it's it's
Yeah.
a bit out of balance. It's not bad. I wouldn't, if somebody served me this, I wouldn't like, oh, what is this? But it's not. There are definitely pleasant things with it, but I think it's a bit out of balance for me.
I think the sweetness comes through on the back end
Yes.
after it's
The
burned
richness,
away.
sweetness, yes.
Yeah, this isn't.
This is a great bottle if you have a whiskey collection and you're really proud of it and you want another bottle that's not super expensive,
Yeah.
not terrible, but also you can dip into it and not feel bad at all.
Right, and many people don't know about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike it.
It's
At all.
not a necessity.
And again, it
but
made
it's
it
not
to
a
this
bad
round
addition.
for a reason.
Yeah, because you have to like, if you go, let's say you're super hoity-toity and you're like, I only get the best bourbons. Sure, but guess what? Those aren't going to always be around, and you don't want to just dwindle your reserve that you have in your bar, and by always drinking the best. And especially if you have friends over, if you have a party and everyone likes whiskey, you can't give them the best, most expensive stuff. This is something that you add to your collection to balance that out. You don't want to drain out your good reserve. Well, here's David Nicholson got you covered with his reserve. Okay, so
Yeah.
I
think
mean,
it's
I
a
know
good
where
way
this
to
is going in the place.
Yeah, so
you guys will
let's
probably
talk,
disagree with me.
Yeah, well,
but
let's go.
I
Lay it
think,
on us.
I mean,
So two are gonna come out of the wild card or losers bracket, if you will, and join the final 2 flights.
I think I gotta be honest. I think this is an easy choice for me. Larceny is number 1,
Okay.
just because of the price and its accessibility. It is by far the best with the price range on how accessible that alcohol is. I have been showing this to everybody. People watched the first episode. People have been loving it. So Larceny definitely.
Moving on for you.
Heaven Hill, there's a little win for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give David Nicholson the number 2 for me.
Wow,
Okay.
that's a
Old Bardstown was too boring. Four Roses is a little bit too run of the mill. I think too basic. I like it though. I like it more than Old Bardstown for sure. But Buffalo Trace, a little too funky. This isn't moving forward because I think this is, again, something that needs to be separate, but unique. And I think that's why it exists. It's a unique, cheap bottle of alcohol. David Nicholson, I think it has a punch, a 1-2 punch, nothing special, but I like that 100 proof burn, and it's able to at least complement some sweetness. So
that 100
So
proof
your
winning it
rank-
out for you.
yeah,
Larceny's 1, David Nicholson 2,
Four Roses,
Four Roses.
Old Bardstown. I want to give. I kind of want to shit on Old Bardstown just because it's like that's the person you just make fun of because it just have nothing interesting. But I don't even want to rank Buffalo Trace because it's so unique and weird. I think I would
Yeah.
like to try that with other weird whiskeys. So I'm gonna say that's last, just because I'm gonna put it into some other category.
Okay.
That's sort of interesting that that you came down like that, and maybe we'll see what happens here with us. But because a lot of people would put that Buffalo Trace as a quintessential bourbon,
Yeah.
and I don't. I never have. It's got a little bit of that funky oak going on. It's not bad at all. At all. Love Buffalo Trace Distillery, but I would agree with Ryan that this is my least favorite product that they put out. The actual Buffalo Trace. For me, it is. I'm gonna put a tie for number one, so therefore it's my number one and number two, whatever, and it's Larceny and Four Roses. Bam.
Yeah. I
Okay.
kind of figured that was gonna be both of your guys's.
Well, I don't know if it's Ryan's, but it's mine.
Going number one, Buffalo Trace. Number two, Old Bardstown.
He's a masochist.
I'm so spiteful.
He hates himself so much he's gonna continue to drink Buffalo Trace.
Number one is Larceny. I think we all sort of agree with that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Somehow, I mean, honestly, we started this podcast. Larceny has blown me away. It is somehow, and Rick had a good story where he was tasting whiskey with a bunch of his friends, and then the wife
Yeah.
of somebody
Yep.
was not interested, and all of a sudden tried the Larceny and was like, "Whoa, what's this?"
Yes.
This is Larceny. Larceny
So-
is that. It's like, hey, you don't like bourbon?
But it's not only that, because we
Yeah.
still like
Exactly.
it. And we're pretty snobby.
Yeah. This isn't your Crown Royal or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a real bourbon.
Well, and so
That's
because
weeded.
we're talking it up. We'll see where Ryan ends up on it. So I just pulled my cards, and it's like, okay, so we're talking it up so much, like, oh, Larceny for sure. It's like, well, how did it end up in the wild card or losers bracket, if you will? Well, it went.
Yeah.
We led off. It was our very first round. We led off with Larceny, then David Nicholson, not reserved, but the 1843, which had no chance when he got done with it. Then we had Buffalo Trace, and then we had Old Tub. Bottled and Bond.
Yeah.
So remember, you like a little bit funky and different and 100
Yep.
proof. And then Old Forester 100. Bam.
Yeah.
And Old Forester 100 and Old Tub,
Yeah.
Bottled and Bond.
Larceny was up against some kings.
Moved forward.
Yeah,
And Larceny.
Old Forester 100. Are you
so
kidding
Larceny
me?
and Buffalo Trace were the two. There was one wild card from each of the rounds, but we had a tie, and so we moved two from that round. So that's what it was up against. That's why it's in the wild card round.
I think Buffalo Trace moved on just straight out of name.
Well, it did. So where are you sitting with it?
Larceny's number one. Four Roses number two. David Nicholson number three. Old Bardstown number four. Buffalo Trace number five.
So not theoretically, I don't know why I said that.
Literally.
Literally. So if you were to change the price of Buffalo Trace, what price would you put it on?
I mean, if that were
Because-
$18,
$18.
I think that would be.
I wouldn't change the price at all. I would keep it right where it is. I think it's a great value for people. Like I said, a lot of people say for $25, $26, that's a quintessential bourbon. I don't see it as a quintessential bourbon. I don't see it as straight down the pipe. This is a bourbon. I see Bardstown more as straight down the pipe. This
Yeah.
is a fairly simple in the $20 range bourbon.
Three of the Bardstown, Larceny, and Four Roses are more like, all right, different styles, but this is
Yes.
bourbon.
Yeah,
This is what
Buffalo
you would
Trace. This Buffalo Trace,
Ugh.
again, love the distillery. I'd keep it at. I mean, you can't find it. It's hard to find at the price it's at. But I don't think it is. I'm going to disagree with the people that say it's quintessential bourbon. I think it's more unique and different, and you have to really have that flavor profile on your palate. That's what I'd say. Larceny is more quintessential.
Yeah.
And even Old Bardstown is more quintessential
Yeah.
bourbon.
I think the only reason people say that Buffalo Trace is the quintessential bourbon is because they make the most exclusive bottles, the most expensive and sought after bottles in their distillery, and this is their affordable range whiskey and also the namesake of the distillery. That's why people say that.
You should not feel bad if you miss out. If you go there and you're looking for Buffalo Trace,
don't even
get
worry
else.
about it. Don't
Because
trip.
we got you covered.
Yeah, there's so much other stuff.
Yeah, our next episode, you're gonna find the ones that you should be looking for.
Yeah.
And to prove the point, we'll finish off with a little Colonel Taylor, which is Buffalo Trace Bottled and Bond Rye. Have fun finding that nowadays. As we move forward the two.
Secondary market, $300 a bottle.
Flexing on them.
No,
Well, he didn't pay that. Hell
but
no.
yeah, I was raised by Depression era parents. You think I'm going to pay $300 for? No, but no, we do love Buffalo Trace and have all kinds of their stuff.
Elmer T. Lee is one of the best whiskeys I have ever had in my entire life.
What's that one?
It's by Buffalo Trace. It's one of those kind of like yearly releases or whatever. But it, as far as I've ever bought it, it was always like $40 a bottle. And it is one of the best bourbons I've ever had.
Can you find it?
Not
No.
anymore.
I mean,
It was hard to find before because it was just a yearly like special release, and now people are, of course, obsessed with Buffalo Trace and will buy whatever.
So I mean, before we get into
extra. I just wanted to
content,
play. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Larceny. Rick, did you give your?
Yeah,
order?
I did. So it's for me, it's Larceny. It was a tie.
Yeah.
Larceny and Four Roses. They're different for sure, but I liked them both. And so what's moving forward, based on also what Ryan said, would be Larceny for sure, and then Four Roses, because there was 2 votes for that for second place or whatever. So Bardstown, Buffalo Trace, and David Nicholson Reserve bite the bullet, and the Four Roses 80 proof, and the Larceny move on.
All right. So there you go. That's our lineup then. Just throw that out the back. Garbage. So yeah. So I mean, now we're at our semifinals.
Yep.
So
those 5: the Elijah Craig, Evan Williams, Single Barrel, Old Tub, Bottled and Bond, Old Granddad, Bottled and Bond, and Larceny. We're going to go head to head, and then Fighting Cock, Wild Turkey 101, Old Forester, and Bullet, and Four Roses go head to head. Although I might argue that we could put Four Roses in the other one in Larceny, just because Four Roses and Bullet.
I think that's better.
Okay.
I think
All
that's
right.
useful because we need to put them head to head.
Okay. All right.
Also, so that lineup is interesting because we have Old Forester is the unique standout. Where we have
the Kickin' Chicken and the Wild Turkey 101. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Bullet and Four Roses. So it's
those are, you know what? I'm just going to say it right now. If you're looking to start a bourbon or whiskey collection,
here you go.
They're for
boom.
in the $20 range, at least in this market. There you go. You can't go wrong with any of those right there.
So any predictions?
Predictions?
Yeah. What do you guys?
What
do you guys think?
Also, hold on. Let me just go ahead and say there are so many good bourbons in this price range that we didn't get them all.
Yes. Like
there are other ones that are good. If you have
other $20 bottles, comment, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we can make more content, taste them.
Yeah.
We just don't know. There's so many of them. So many. And these are just the more well-known things that we had access to. So make sure to, let us know which ones are.
Yeah, we started with 20. And I think I said it in the first episode.
Also, we want to move on and do other things.
Yeah, I said it in the first episode.
We can't do
it's
a
like,
million of these things.
Here's 20 bourbons that are in our market in the $20 range. It doesn't mean it's the only. As a matter of fact, at my place, I left a number of bourbons behind that were in the $20 range. So there's certainly more than this.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you couldn't go wrong with any of those 10.
Most people know what these are.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're into bourbon. these are going to be recognizable.
And for the most part, you can walk into any local liquor store and find Wild Turkey 101. For the most part, you can find any of these. Buffalo Trace might be a little bit iffy. Well, that didn't make it anyway. So,
Don't even
Four
worry about
Roses,
that.
Bullet.
If we're doing predictions, hands down, I think it's going to be a shootout between Old Forester 100 and Wild Turkey 101.
Interesting. Okay, I like that.
1 proof difference.
Yeah, it matters.
Different. They're different kinds of bottles, but they are heavy hitters.
That was unexpected. For me personally, so we're doing it blind when we actually do the finals.
Yeah.
So the finals will be blind. So these predictions don't really matter.
Could prove us to be complete idiots.
So that's why I kind of wanted to do it. Just all right, who's able to guess the most on this? But for me, I'm thinking Elijah Craig versus the Old Forester.
You think those are top 2?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. The Old Forester, it's hard to not say that it's going to be right up there. For me personally, the Wild Turkey 101, it's hard to say it's not going to be right up there. But Elijah Craig would be pulling right after that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But as we've talked about before, it totally depends on the night we do it. Depends on your palate, what you've eaten earlier in the day, your mood, whatever. All these things. So,
see, I think top 4: Old Forester, Wild Turkey 101, Old Granddad Bonded.
I think Old Granddad is going to be in there.
My wild card?
What? Bullet.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I knew you were going to say Bullet.
I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
But I think that could pull through in a real hard way.
Yeah. This is
Elijah
why we're doing it
awesome.
blind. Or we're not doing the semifinals blind.
Yeah, we're going to just go
But the
through
finals
these,
will be blind. But I think Old Granddad is going to be a little sneaky bottle.
It's a dark horse, man.
But I want to know.
I
want to know if Evan Williams blind, because I didn't like that. I did not like that.
You were not a
at
fan.
All. I would honestly, right now, give me David Nicholson.
Wow.
Based on my memory.
Wow.
Yeah. So
sacrilegious.
But
if I remember correctly, I think he bullied me into that one.
Yes, I did.
yeah. So
no, you said you liked it a lot better than what you'd remember.
I think we have a pretty good lineup.
Oh,
for the
you
semifinals.
cannot go wrong. The Old Tub. We already know that you're a 100-proofer. The Old Tub bottled in bond, and that was unique and different. Again, we talked about it. That splits the line. Like people fall off. I hate it or I love it.
And I would like to try it again. I haven't had it since. So
yeah.
And we have 2 bottle and bonds versus none. So although 100 proof, I mean same proof at least.
101 or 103, 101, 100 proof.
Yeah.
2 bottle and bonds over there.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
But like that Elijah Craig's a 94 proof, and that hits hard.
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, I've had Old Forester since we tried it in the first episode. I tried it after eating food and stuff, and I was like, man, I don't remember it like I did when we're on the podcast. So I'm curious to do it a second time, and I wonder, blind or even in the semifinals, if it's going to do very well. But if I know how it tasted previously, I mean,
Yeah.
I see it.
That
Although
was,
Wild
it was
Turkey
such
is
a
going to
standout. It was such a standout.
it was.
But
Wild
up against
Turkey's
Wild Turkey,
freaking good.
yo,
Fighting Cock was great, and then it was like, oh, Wild Turkey, hello.
yeah,
Yeah.
The kicking chicken. Yeah, it does. A lot of people don't know about it, but it just
4 Roses, Old Forester, Wild Turkey, Granddad,
This is
Evan Williams.
here's
Elijah
your
Craig.
quintessential
Let's go.
bar lineup
Let's go.
without spending too much money.
Yeah.
You want to spend $100 on a bottle of alcohol? Forget that. Spend $100.
$100 and $100.
Yeah,
I mean, a little
here's
bit more. on
$200
each.
to have a whole bar set up ready for your friends at home, to where you can try all these together because they're in the same price range. That's what's really important. So,
Yeah.
because it's fun to try things like, oh, here's this bourbon and here's this bourbon, but it's like you can't really get a really good decision on what is good unless you have the same price range or That's why I like Bottle and Bond. It's very clear. The recipe's the same, but the prices differ. Why do the prices differ? That's why I like the Bottle and Bond. The price is all in your $20 range. Let's see what's different between them. So
Yep.
yeah, and we got the
Oh,
the Colonel Taylor.
wow, that's
Rub
good.
taste,
The
the rub
spice in
test.
this rye, it's unbelievable. Woo! Nice stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely that is a heavy hitting lineup in the $20 range. It's amazing what you can get in the $20 range.
Yeah. Well, again, like we said before, we have not done every single $20 bottle of alcohol. So please like our video, comment, subscribe, because
Send us a bottle of Mellow Yellow.
send us a bottle.
Tell us what we're leaving out.
Let us know what's going on, because this is a small little snippet of a gigantic price range. But again, if you liked it, if you like this content, let us know. Like, subscribe. We're going to be putting out some more. We are going to be finishing this here soon. We have 2 more episodes for the semifinals of each of these. And then we have our final, which is going to be blind. And then after that, we don't know where we're going to go. So let us know. What are you interested in? What do you want us to do? Because we have all kinds of alcohols that we want to try. And if you have some new ones for us to go out and get, let us know. And yeah.
Number 1 source for alcohol content.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You totally redeemed yourself.
Cue out.